Right.
All right, welcome to Night Talk. We are, well, good morning. It's one of those times, so we're still trying to wake up here. Which lane am I in here, Joseph? There's that lane going that way. And
You stay right here because we're going to be on this for 519 miles.
So we are just coming into Reno. So if you could, we'd share this experience with you. So this is a lot of this area out here. When I was here, I don't know, 15 years ago, this was all vacant. So all these are homes out here that they built. Really a whole community out here. And behind us is the Sierra Nevadas. Literally, if you go 10 miles that way, you're in the mountains behind us. Can't really see it, but yeah, this is all new. And this is, a lot of these people came from California, and they all moved here to be on the Nevada side. So just tons of people moved into this area right outside Reno. And I guess if you look down that way, this is my finger, that way is downtown Reno. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see my finger, obviously. But
So, I didn't see what it was pointing at.
oh, okay.
Just saw a piece of finger.
I just saw a big finger.
Yeah.
Big finger in the road. Yeah, this is Reno. It looks like that's downtown Reno there. And we're on 80, and we are heading to Pittsburgh. So we've left California permanently and moving to Pittsburgh. So we are on our journey. That's beautiful. Look at the mountains back there. Isn't that wonderful behind the city? That's really unique. They're desert mountains. We're in the desert. This is high desert. So, but wow, that's something. Sun's out.
Oh yeah. Pretty cool.
Calls for a celebration. I think I'll have my coffee. We keep referring to these highways as freeways, but I think we're going to change that verbiage now to highways because we're not in California anymore. Everything's a freeway. So yeah, we are on the interstate.
Not that it was a freeway anyway.
No, it became a payway, but yeah, there's downtown Reno. It's a big downtown there. I think those are mostly casinos. Probably all casinos. So, like I said, this is outside of Vegas. This is the next biggest. Atlantic City might be bigger. I don't know. But it's probably pretty close. Reno, Atlantic City. Not that I really gamble. I like to keep my money, thank you. The gambling is going through this town. That's the gambling. Actually, this is a pretty nice town. It does get hot in the summer, though. But yeah, big downtown Reno. Yeah, we had a good night's rest, or at least I did. Joseph didn't. He said he kept dreaming of a freight train.
Yeah, something like that.
So what was the deal?
Well, it was big, really, really massive noise. Very, very close to me. It was really, really loud. It happened most of the night.
He was it's a hotel with 2 twin beds, right? So, I don't know. And then they were complaining about the cold and the train coming and...
Well, okay. Alright, the cold... You turn the AC to the lowest setting possible, put on full blast. In a small room, it gets pretty cold quick. Especially that it's, 50 to 40 degrees outside already.
I like it cold at night, especially when you go to sleep. Cold weather is fantastic. So, super cold. And I guess I snored, kept him up.
Yes.
I got sleep apnea, so I'm often choking in the middle of the night. How many times did I choke? Like 4 or 5?
3 or 4. Sound like you were fighting someone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fight going on for oxygen.
For oxygen, yep.
I'm supposed to be using the CPAP machine, right? But I'm also, I've got adult set asthma on top of it. So when I put this machine mask on, it's like, it's awful. That's all I can describe it. It's like having a plastic bag over your nose, and even though it's getting some air, it feels like you're suffocating. And boy, I love those mountains and the sun, and this is really nice. If it wasn't so hot in the summertime here, this would be a nice town. Because you're right near Lake Tahoe. You know, you're 40 minutes to Lake Tahoe, and but it is all desert. Man, look at all these trucks. I bet you they're coming from mines and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it.
A lot of mines. We're at the hotel we were at. It had you could see a mine off in the distance in the hills. So they do a lot of mining still out here. Man, that's a cool building.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, it looked like it fell into the other tower. They should fix that. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but see how that building fell into that building? That's bad.
That says curious, visit VS.
Yeah, that's bad building there. They fired the architect there. Should never have another building fall into a building.
Yeah, and then not even fix it, but keep it like that. Just tape it together a little bit.
Yeah, this is a nice town. I like it. It's all kind of here.
Yeah.
It's
big downtown. Oh, look at all this stuff.
Really, I think it's the first time I've really gone this far. I came here and I think we went to a casino or something for a few minutes, and then got something to eat, and then went and I think I was doing a job interview or some weird thing years ago. 2001 was the last time I was here. Yeah, look at all these oil derricks.
The mountains are kind of cool with all that fog poking over.
These are desert mountains, so there's really nothing on them, some scrub brush. But, so we are officially now out of the... Well, this is kind of the residual of the Sierras, but this is... this side of the Sierras is really dry and deserty.
This view of the sun feels a lot more intense out here. You feel right through the car.
Well, it's because the heater is on.
Oh, that was... What help? We shut that off.
Let's turn it down to 70.
Let's turn that all the way down.
Okay. That works.
So we have Arctic breeze in here.
So yeah, this is Reno. Or I guess we're kind of starting to come into the outskirts of Reno. Not sure where our destination is. I really don't... I want to go through Salt Lake City, but I really don't want to spend the night in Salt Lake City. So I don't know. Maybe we could push through and get some miles in today. So my wife arrived in Pittsburgh, so that was good. I'm sure she's going to see the house here soon. And boy, they got a nice mall here. And that's the thing about California. Everything is getting run down. They're not really building a lot of stuff. And what they do build is in certain areas where it's just so expensive you can't live there, except for a few elites. And but the person just making a common wage, it's to the point where people just can't afford to live there. So, but there's the old adage. What is it? What does it cost to gain the whole world but to lose your soul?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone wants to gain the whole world and loses their soul in the process. So there's your tip for the day. Don't try to gain the whole world to lose your soul. I think I said that right. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, everything is for sale, but doesn't mean you have to be for sale.
Well, I have to buy everything.
All right, let's switch cameras so they can see us here in our.
Let's see which one is this one.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, whoa, yo.
See a little California tag here.
Where? They can't see
Sac
that.
Park.
Sac Park. Yeah, that's my press parking. So.
We can park anywhere in Sacramento there.
Yeah, free parking for press. But I'm not in Sacramento anymore, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, we're going to keep it up. We'll confuse people, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we're going back to this beautiful scenery. Look at that railroad.
Really nice. I mean, take a look at it. Mountains. It's just random trucks. Oh, look at all these homeless cabins.
Wow, they do have some homeless out
Look
there.
at all those homeless people.
Wow.
They're all in
And they're on the side of the road, and this is the river here. So I think this is the trucky part of the trucky.
That's funny. They're all in the bottom of the ditch, though. That's really cute.
Yeah, well, you know, if you were homeless, this wouldn't be, you know, this would be interesting to live. And you'd be living with a rattlesnake. So I imagine there's a lot of rattlesnakes out here. Oh, the road's over there. Just stop looking at the scenery and start looking at the road. Yeah, there's got to be a lot of rattlesnakes here. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know. It's rocks and it's kind of scrub brush, and you got to kind of like that, you know? Not too much greenery. But I guess if you moved from like the East Coast, you grew up in the East Coast and you moved to a place like this, it would be different for you. Where being from California, being around all the deserts, and you know, even Sacramento is somewhat arid. It's not completely green. It doesn't get to the very tip western end of California. You get a lot of what, you know. It's not really tropical, is it? It's a rainforest, but not tropical rainforest. It's what that is, but anyway, but it gets a lot of rain on the. Well, no, I'm talking about up in Eureka and that area. They get a lot of rain up there.
Northern California. Yeah, well, it's
along the coast there.
More comes from Alaska and the Yukon. It just rolls down the coast and kind of hits it.
But yeah, so they get a lot of rain in extreme Northern California, but most of California is arid and then desert. And so when you grow up there, grow up in that environment, desert kind of becomes old. It's like, how much, scrub brush can you see, you know? So it's exciting to go to a place that's super green and has all these trees and all that, especially when you got asthma because you can breathe better. But all this dust out here in the summertime, man, this would not be fun out here.
Yeah, well, this is what you call desert. You know?
Yeah, high desert, but still desert.
Well, yeah, it is high desert. That's why you see the clouds, and it's very cold up here right now.
That's cool. Look at that river. Beautiful. You guys can't. I don't know if you can really see it, but
the rail is kind of in the way.
You have to just trust that it's there. And
running awfully close to all those houses down here, though.
Yeah, see, I've never been out here. That's for sure.
Look at all that really nice housing district. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's one to the right.
Oh, there's a
down the hill. There's a big housing district. Very big, nice. They look like brand new houses. Oh, but there's a FedEx. There's the FedEx Center.
Okay.
See it to the right of the screen here.
Yeah, we got some rocks over here. Shrub brush.
Yeah.
Tesla,
yes.
I'm checking license plates. So most of them are Nevada now. So there was a few Californians, but they probably don't get past the casino. So most of the Californians
He's stuck in the casinos.
You know, that's about as far as they go.
Another Tesla. Look at that. This is the third Tesla I've seen this morning. Wow. There's another Nevada.
All right, well, let's move on here.
Past that truck.
It is 46 degrees out right now.
It's warming up. It was a lot colder this morning.
Well, my only concern about this trip is hitting severe snow. we will have to continue to check the weather because hopefully we just get across Nevada and well, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that train down there, but
bullet train.
Yeah, it's not really a bullet train. But that's an Amtrak.
It's a bullet train
down
carrying
there.
10 billion pounds. Oh, it is an Amtrak, yeah.
Yeah, Amtrak goes all the way from Sacramento to Chicago.
Wow.
So.
The question is whether or not that train is there two tracks or just one?
And I want to give a plant report out. The plant seems to be doing just fine back there. Both plants. We didn't water them though, so we might want to give them a little bit of water.
It was pretty cold this morning, so that was probably new for them.
Yeah, but they're in the car. We just left them in the car. So our attempt is to save them and keep them healthy during this trip.
And not have them taken away under the guise of it being something more illegal. So.
Yeah. And I wouldn't really describe plants across the country as smuggling. I mean, but who knows?
We could be smuggling plants across the country. Not sure.
Maybe we could start a cartel called the Plant Smuggling Cartel,
Smuggling house plants from one house to the next.
Yeah, across the country. So if you didn't know, you can go back and watch yesterday's video. But yes, I'm taking plants for my wife across country. These were her plants that were one of them were in her office. The other one I think I gave her years ago. But the funny thing is, don't tell her. But I don't even remember giving it to her.
It just happened one day.
Yeah, it just happened.
You just find on the side of the road and like, oh, this would be great.
Yeah. No, I think I picked up the Home Depot or something.
Well, you picked up a whole bunch of plants, but I think there was only like one that was very acceptable.
Yeah, well, we gave all our plants away except for these two, so.
Yeah. Just a few plants.
And then Sarah had what I would consider a racist plant, but,
Yeah.
Anti-Semitic plant. Why would they call a plant that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's the plant name. But they all have scientific names. But everyone gives.
Well, it did have a scientific name, but
everyone calls, like, most plants all have a different name, like a name.
So she gets this plant from these people in Idaho. She goes to a friend's house and goes out to Idaho. They drive all the way out to Idaho, right? And she gets this plant, and they say, "Oh, I see the Star of David hanging from your neck. Here's a plant. We call it the Wandering Jew." They said, and like, they called it what?
And it didn't. I don't know. To describe the plant, it was kind of tall and wispy, and it had tiger stripes on it. So I'm not sure what the correlation.
There was a name for it. You didn't have to call it that. That was kind of.
Yeah, the scientific name was a little bit cool. It was like lysine.
You just wonder where these names come from, But anyway, she likes it. I think she's gonna keep it. So her friends keeping it there. So we didn't bring that one with us. Just the two others. But yeah, this is kind of an interesting environment. So they have a lot of mills out here. I guess these are they could be concrete plant maybe.
Well, let's see if the sign says I-80 fireworks, left 500 and exit 43.
Oh, so there's fireworks? You can buy fireworks here.
In wintertime, guys. It's Nevada. What do you say?
Alright, so you get fireworks any time of the year.
Where do you think all these people have fireworks in our neighborhood?
Okay, so they're going to Nevada and buying them.
Yep.
Well, the ones that they were shooting off in our neighborhood were like M80s and bottle rockets. And, I mean, they were clearly illegal fireworks.
Yeah, probably got bananas. There's wild horses out there.
I think they're burros. Yeah, those are. They have mules and have horses or something.
They look like horses, but this is 7 horses out there.
Yeah, those probably wild horses.
Not on a fence or anything.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, you gotta thank the miners for that. Miners brought over a lot of horses and just let them go.
Well, it's better letting them go than taking them out.
I think they have Mustangs too out here.
Yeah, it must be hard to find food though.
No, I think they eat the shrub. I mean, they find stuff. They obviously survive, but they're near the river, That's
Yeah, that too. So they got water and food.
So yeah, what a beautiful morning. Look at this. The Creator has created us a beautiful morning. See, that's the other problem with people. Is, okay, now, this is, this could be a bit, I would say it could be a bit, I don't know, what would you call it?
Controversial.
Yeah, controversial, but it's not really controversial. But people love to worship the creation versus the Creator, right? So they worship things of this creation, like trees and plants, or animals, like your cat or dog, or just anything, But we got to keep in mind that there is a Creator out there, and all things come from the Creator, right? All good, all comes from the Creator. He made everything by Him and through Him, and we should never worship the creation versus the Creator. We can enjoy His handiwork. Right? I look up at the stars. I say that's the glory of God. We see His glory, right? But what we were watching yesterday. Remember the Hair Man?
Oh yeah, it was William Shatner in his investigation on aliens in the ancient world on the History Channel of all places.
Yeah.
But that was kind of interesting. There was William Shatner, and then there's a whole bunch of other guys, just crazy, like 7 or 8 guys around this table. They're just all arguing about whether or not aliens created the ancient place, or how they did it, or how ancient peoples built these things versus aliens. And so there was arguments on all accounts. And Mr. Shatner was like the judge. He was just kind of making sure no one got out of check. It was kind of funny, but there was some crazy looking views. People seem to have a very close idea that the people of the ancient world were very much idiotic, or not idiotic, but just not developed to the point we are now, which is why back then they didn't have anything that we have now. But I don't know, that's kind of not really, I'd say, an educated view.
Well, I mean, they had these scientists there, and these guys, I mean, they had 4 degrees, of this, that, and whatever. But hey, more kudos to them. That's probably a lot of work to get all those degrees, but a lot more degrees than I have. But I mean, one guy had how many degrees in engineering? Because he had to crack Mr. Shatner on how many degrees he had. It's like, all right. So you got 50 degrees on blah blah blah. Very good. And then they would just start talking, and you're like, okay, well,
right,
really? So because the plant was green, the rocks fell this way, and this happened over here, and because that happened over there, and we see this here, means that, aliens exist. And you're like, well, wait a minute, how did you get from this to this? Well, and they're trying to give you the evidence chain, and it's this kind of nebulous thing. It's like, really?
Well, they can look at ancient ruins. There was one example. One of them grew up a guy with very, very crazy looking hair. We had a joke he might have been an alien spy, but
his hair was straight up.
Yeah, it was like 2 feet.
Like Don King. It was like Don King straight up.
Yeah, it was like a half foot up in the air, and it was all gelled. And it was like Einstein, but if Einstein had hair gel and then gelled it up on purpose.
He reminded me of one of those little dinosaurs with that little flap that comes up.
The Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so his theory fell. He had a very, very educated guy. He had several degrees, but he was just, that little guy. Was that a copper?
Maybe.
There's 2 people in it. Anyway, his angle was that there was a slab of stone that dates back, 10,000 years, maybe even more, and it was carved perfectly with a really nice groove, and then it was actually drilled into the rocks. Was equidistant holes all the way down that had equally the same amount of drilling on each hole. So he stuck a paper clip in each hole and was like, well, see how they all line up? He's like, this is just too perfect for ancient people to do. And And then he's always like, oh, must have been aliens. I don't know how you draw that conclusion so quickly, because I think, like I said, I think people have a wrong view when it comes to the ancient world, that they were not educated, or they were idiots, they were like Neanderthals, they were just discovering everything. Because if you look at some of the ancient cities that we have discovered, some of the engineering in these cities is just amazing. Some of the stuff that not even nowadays that we think that we have.
But there's no evidence that aliens came and put these walls up in these various places. Now, it is true that these walls are unique. You know, they're unique walls and man-made. But there's no evidence that aliens did it, you know? They're just surmising this stuff. I mean, okay, the real evidence is this. Why don't we see aliens today? Okay, we see moving lights and we see different stuff, but I'm talking about actually seeing, you know, some green alien getting out of a craft and coming up and saying hello, you know? Why don't we see that? I mean, are these aliens so nebulous that they're trying to hide themselves from us? But anyway, who knows?
Well, why would they help the ancient world and not the modern world? I don't understand. Well, because a lot of the theories is that they gave ancient people powers to build stuff, such as they brought into this sort of like telekinesis, except using sound waves at such an amplified rate that it would physically lift objects, and that's how they surmised that they built some of the
they
giant
cracked the rocks and stuff through sound waves.
Well, like just you know, based on some experiment that someone did at NASA, that
we all farted together and cracked the rocks.
Something like that. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a jump. It really is a jump.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's just whatever. You know, I understand people believe it. I understand people see balls of light. I've seen balls of light in the sky that I would call a UFO, an unidentified object, you know. I would say that, yes, I've seen those.
But is there an alien flying it? I don't know.
But, I mean, of course, my perspective is different than most. And I would say this could be more supernatural or spiritual than it is aliens. And sometimes it's just the military.
Just the government.
No, it's like they throw up balloons with lights on them, you know, for their various testing, you know. So they'll have these balloons with lights on them. The problem is these lights are doing weird things, so they're like moving across the sky. But I mean, if you had enough balloons up there and it, you know, sends a signal to one light,
well, you gotta think, if there's a military base, you know, and they're trying to get an aircraft in, you know, say a secret aircraft, they don't have guys out there with those wands, you know, like, oh, you know, this is where you're landing, right? They have to have other ways, so that makes sense.
It's possible, yeah, because they're dealing with, like, over Area 51, or like where we are now. We're not, you know, we're about 200 miles from Area 51 right now. And this is where you start seeing a lot of that alien stuff. So we're talking about it because we're kind of in that area. But at the same time, you know, I would say it's more supernatural. There's an interesting parable, and I'm just going to quote it because it's, you know, I can't say it's exactly right, but where they're talking to Jesus, these demons are talking to Jesus, and, well, I get that one right. Maybe I didn't get that one right. Anyway, they go in the desert to rest after being cast out. And I think Jesus is giving this parable. And so these demons are often walking through the wilderness, or however they do it, flying or whatever they do, to rest, which I always thought was interesting. So every time I go to the desert, I'm thinking of that. So when I see these balls of light, I don't know, my own suspicion says, okay, are these spirits, are these supernatural spirits? Why are trucks passing by? I am going 65 miles an hour.
Well, to be honest, that guy doesn't have much of a load, so he probably just wants to get home.
I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. No, I'm going 67 miles an hour. What is going on here? I'm supposed to be going 80. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's more spiritual for me. Now, I know other people may not agree with that, but so when I see that stuff, I assume that it's probably a supernatural event or supernatural in some way. But I don't equate it to aliens. But more, it's more my biblical view on life than it is philosophy. I notice that people generally run to aliens when they don't believe that there's a God, right? So when you say, okay, there's no God, aliens created us, then it's easy to just throw up gods. But if you believe in God, well, suddenly things start changing. You don't see it in the same light. And I would say that you really have to prove that aliens exist. Just like you'd have to prove that werewolves exist, Maybe they do. Maybe they're out here. Maybe this is where they keep them. Or maybe they just wandered the
zombies,
the zombies. Oh yeah, there's zombies too.
Zombie outbreaks out here.
The coolest zombies are in California, though.
Yes.
Well, this is Nevada, and it's beautiful this time of year. Well, I've never been this far out in Nevada, that's for sure. That's funny because I've gone all up and down the West Coast, but I've never gone really east of, let's say, Reno or Vegas. So I would say this is the furthest I've been east driving. I've flown.
Take another step forward, it'll be the furthest away you've been from home.
So this little community over here, some houses. I wonder what these people do for a living out here.
Not sure, but everyone's got Nevada plates.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many Californians this far out, that's for sure.
Well, it's a dark desert highway.
Yes, a dark desert highway. Orange State.
Warm smell of corn dogs rising up in the air.
Corn dogs, yes, in the air. This reminds me of a song. I'm trying to think what that would be.
I don't know.
What's the other lyric to it? What is it? You can never go, but you can never leave. No, it's you can
always come, but you can never leave. You can always stay, but you can never leave.
Yeah, you can always.
Welcome to Walmart, California.
Yeah.
My vest is blue and my hair is too.
Oh, okay. My vest is blue and my hair is too. That rhymes. How about that? You could be a rapper.
It's California. It's the California version.
Yo. You can actually do it. You just gotta get your hand gestures down. And the thing is, we're carrying contraband with this thing, so now you can be a true criminal rapper.
Yeah. Because we committed a felony, right? Is that a felony? No, we said felony. We said the F word. No, there wasn't even a checkpoint.
Just to be clear, it's just a plant.
It's just a plant. It's a house plant. Okay?
It's a house plant.
I will show you.
Just because we have California plates, you can't racial profile us. Someone's gonna, and we said this yesterday, but we were worried, because we had California plates. We're gonna get Midwest, somewhere in Missouri or something, right?
Somewhere where you don't see California.
And they're gonna pull us over, seeing this plant in the back, thinking, pot plant.
Yeah, it's like, there's some potheads from California.
Well.
Wow.
No, officer, really, it's a house plant. Well, how do I know, sir?
Let me taste it.
It looks like pot to me. You look like a pothead. Those plates say you're a pothead.
Yeah.
And your license says you're a pothead.
You look like one on your driver's photo. That's funny.
All right, what town is this? This looks like a real...
No, it's 9:09
kind of a town there.
We have 483 miles to Salt Lake. Trying to find out where we are in this world here. We are... see, it's not really a town name here.
Not really a town name. I think we just passed it. But there's all these signs up, so there must be something.
It's Dwight D. Eisenhower Highway, by the way. I didn't know that. 80 is named after Dwight Eisenhower.
That's this guy. Can't do it until this guy passes.
Wow, he's fast. I will say, Nevada has a lot of colorful license plates out here. I mean, I've seen like 7 different varieties of the Nevada license plate so far. There's another one. Never mind, that's New York.
Did it say New York?
Oh, nice, Nevada. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it came from New York.
It's a blue license plate though. Looks like.
Now, there's trailers. Now I'm starting to see what I think of Nevada out here. There's a bunch of trailers. People, the family trees don't fork.
Trailer homes.
We're starting to get into that zone. This is probably the zone you probably just want to keep driving.
Yeah, you don't want to get out of your vehicle.
I'm sure it's safe. It's actually, you know what? You can see there's nice homes out here.
Yeah, it's probably nicer than it was a while back.
It's probably better than California right now, that's for sure.
Okay, so Reno. I guess this map's not showing me any smaller cities. So let me see if I can find. We'll just have to look at the signs, I guess. Silverado, there it is.
All right, well, must be silver mines around here, huh?
Oh, wait, now it's a casino.
Well, that's probably the name of the town, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe the name of the casino.
It says Ranch House Restaurant. Goodyear.
Hey, there's a Lowe's Home Improvement.
Walmart. Hey, yeah, there's a Lowe's.
So it's not too backwards back here. Look at this.
Right next to a giant Sherman Williams paint factory. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I would really hate living out in the desert. I know my wife would hate it, but she doesn't like the desert. But yeah, it's a paint factory. How about that? Yeah, you notice they can't put that stuff in California, so that their first choice probably was California, right? Now look at this huge building.
Giant, massive building.
Look at this. See, they're putting stuff out here because
it's all concrete too.
well, they're putting stuff out here because they can't. California won't allow them to build that stuff. So the jobs come out here. This comes out here.
Ooh, it's Polaris. Look at
I mean, you could work there and have a nice home out here, you know, and have probably 4 or 5 acres for, you know, a little townhouse or trailer in California, you know.
That's nice.
And if you like the mountains, you like the desert, this is perfect for you. I mean, this is beautiful. It does get warm though in the summer, you know.
Just 80 East 95.
Okay, 80 East, 95.
Look at the speed limit. Speed limit 80. The speed limit is 80 miles an hour out here. Oh my goodness. That is funny.
I don't know. At a certain point, it's not that great for your vehicle to be going that fast.
Yeah. You don't see speed limits like that.
But we will bump it up a little bit. Let's get it up to.
We gotta go 90. Remember, we gotta be practice that rap sound.
Is there a 90 song about raps? Or
No, we just gotta go 90 because we're breaking laws. We have house plants, and now we're gonna go 90.
Are we? Is there an uptake of crime here, criminal behavior? Because now we got the plant, the house plant.
Yeah. We got us in the mood.
All right, we're at 78. Let's get up to 80. There we go. Now we're at 80. Oh, we're gonna go 81. All right, we did it. We did it.
Broke the speed limit, guys.
We broke the speed limit here. We've done it.
Hopefully
81.
doesn't see this because that would. There's no way.
That's crazy. 80 miles an hour. That's actually kind of cool.
Well, I mean, yeah. Then again, these roads are really straight and not curvy in the slightest. So.
Yeah. Well, you can do that. But that almost looks like, you know, on this side of the Sierras, all this water just puddles out here. So when you get a lot of rains, these rivers just come over on the eastern side, and they just flood out here. So you get these long kind of what looks like lakes. And they were lakes. They fill up, and they're just full of salt.
Yeah. Well, these salt places used to be oceans at one point. Well, there used to be an ocean here or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is in party on their way to Donner Lake.
Not knowing where
Knowing
they're
that they
going.
were about ready to get stuck in the Sierras. Have to eat Uncle Frank or Uncle Jim or Billy Bob.
Whoever died first.
Yeah, I wonder how they did that. Do you think they just divided it up and said, "Oh, well, I'll just have an arm. Then we'll start with a finger, and if a finger's good, we'll move to the arm."
I don't know if they were that chewy about it, but yes.
You think a finger would be kind of bony, not much fat on a finger. But did they wash it first?
I have no idea. I don't know. I wasn't part of that party, so I didn't get invited. I would assume that's just a bad situation to be in. No food up in the middle of the Sierras. It's cold, freezing. Can't go down.
Yeah, there's these old trails out through here. Sometimes you can see them along the road. Or the wagon trains used to come through here.
Well, these highways, a lot of the highways were also built on some wagon trains, right? Old trails.
But you'll see these old trails kind of, you'll just start to see them. It'll look like just a trail, and it was wagon train trail. And the grooves, because this land doesn't move very much, there's not much movement going on, you'll see these tracks, wagon trails coming over.
Something's been munching out there. Look at that. There's big patches in the grass.
Yeah. What a beautiful place.
Well,
This time of year. During the summer, it'd be like, it'd be awful. I mean, it can get hot here, too. It can get, 110, 115. And you get multiple days of that. Do you remember when we went to Death Valley, right? As soon as you got into Death Valley, as we were coming down, do you remember the coyotes? We just pulled off the road for a minute to get some water in the back, and those coyotes immediately came running over to our vehicle. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
They wanted.
I think
food.
we threw out some food for them or something, which might have been illegal.
It was a bad idea, but they had already been accustomed to people throwing in food. They saw the vehicle and was like, "Oh, it's dinner time."
Well, I say you have wonder because they were pretty hungry and thirsty.
Yeah, I think we gave them some water too.
Well, you have to wonder if the coyotes, if you were wandering there by yourself, if the coyotes wouldn't eat you.
Oh yeah, well I'd imagine they are animals and they look after themselves more than other.
I mean, not that you couldn't fend a coyote out. Look at all this water; it just sits out here.
In terms of the salt, look at that salt.
Yeah, just salt. So from the eastern Sierras, this water just comes out here and just sits out here in a lake. This is how it works on the Nevada side. It doesn't go to the ocean. It just sits out here and bakes.
Yeah, it dissolves. Look at how all the white to the right of the screen, that is all just salt. That is not water. It is the remnants of water.
Oh, look at this. Now, this is a first. See the triple vehicle here?
Triple trailer?
Yeah, triple trailer. Now, this is something we do not see in California right here. Okay? They don't allow triple trailers there.
I think you can only go forward in that puppy. You can't go.
Yeah.
There's no reverse.
And then we ship a lot of our industrial waste and all our trash. I think it all comes here in Nevada somewhere. Probably one of these mountains are part of our trash. Because if we get it out of California, it doesn't exist, right?
Not a problem anymore.
Problem solved.
Yeah, we sure have a soured view towards California. You can live there.
No, wait,
Live there. See, looks like snow on the ground.
It's cool.
It's a lot of salt. Yeah, I'm assuming it's salt from the water.
Well, this time of year, it's kind of neat. It really. Oh, look at that! See, there's an old trail, or it's an old. Or that might be a trail. Or that might be a water. No, I think that's an old trail.
Grooves. Also, Well, so there could be ATV wheelers out here then.
Could
too.
be, but you know, it went under the freeway. It kind of
Yeah, it
came
did
out
go
and
on
went
the
around.
freeway.
See, there it is again. It's kind of going around in this kind of. But those are the old trails, and this is where they came from. It's Pioneers. What was it? The Pony Express. That was the mail.
Well, that was the mail service.
But it was the.
It was just the wagon trains
Yeah,
that
the wagon
came through
trains.
here, and then some guy in the front would basically make the path, and everyone would follow, and that's how trails were made. So if there was a rock in the way, they would move, and everyone would move just with that. And so you could be 50 miles down the line and just be following one guy.
and if you look close enough, you might see John Prince footprints
Somewhere.
and John Wayne footprint out there somewhere. And they were circling the wagons when the Indians were attacking.
John Wayne Gacy.
Oh no, John Wayne.
No Gacy.
No Gacy.
No Gacy's out here.
No.
Yeah, a little hill just in the
Jeffrey Dahmer, look back that way a little bit.
middle. Oh, by the Dahmer Pass?
Yeah. And the other side of the freeway is way over there, so you don't even see the other side of the freeway. But it's literally like a quarter of a mile over from us. It's hard to see on the screen, but that's just unusual to have it way over there. I don't know why they did that.
Well, I mean, it's nice. You don't have to worry about other cars. Just worry about going in one direction.
A lot of mining took place in these hills too. A lot of guys went and they mined these hills, and they had silver and copper and gold and all these precious kind of items. I think they even had diamonds here, didn't they? Precious. Look at that. Now that might be the old trail too. I mean, it's a road now, but it might be an old trail.
It kind of looks like old railroad tracks, but it does look like a trail.
Of course, I don't know if they cut into the side of the mountains like that. They took the path of. They better go to the road, dude. I don't know if they cut into the side of the mountains. They just took the easiest path.
Well, that might have been the easiest path at the time. Who knows? I think the terrain probably looked a little different 100 years ago. Might have been more water. Might have been less.
Maybe icy. So it could be icy out here.
Banditos.
Long stretches of road.
Comanches.
Well, we'll go for a few more minutes and then we'll sign off, and we will keep you updated on the next one. So we'll, as we go through this, but I'm sure you don't want to see all the scrub brush, but yeah, this is it. This is Nevada. Now we're kind of, where are we in Nevada, by the way? Do you have any idea there on the old Google or new Google?
We are, well, I mean, you want to know how far we are through Nevada?
Yeah, where are we? Where are we? Kind of quarter way into Nevada, or? I would say we're probably...
We're like a tenth of the way through Nevada right now.
A tenth of the way through Nevada. Okay.
So,
Is that... Are they burning over there? What are they doing?
no, it looks like steam.
No, that's fires. What are they burning?
Maybe it's... I don't know. Maybe they're setting a fire.
Yeah, we're looking at what looks like burning on the side of the hill.
Yeah, lines of smoke. No, it's coming off the water.
What? Water's burning?
The liquid. It's not burning, it's sort of steam.
Wow.
That's weird.
Okay, so they're pumping something out here out of the ground.
Could be
Look
like
at that, look at that factory. It's,
like a geothermal vent or something.
yeah, something. It's a big geothermal vent.
Yeah, that's...
Look at that. A lot of pipes in here. Elkhorn. Yeah, Elkhorn I think is kind of the middle of Nevada, so we still got a ways to go. Got a ways to go.
Maybe 2 tenths.
Alright. Well, thanks for joining us today. And we will probably put up more stuff as we're going through the country. But there's there's nothing exciting now. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys on the next one.